Welcome back to Breakfast Central. It's time for our top stories, and we're starting off here in Nigeria. Two groups have moved to stop the presidential primaries of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) over the party's silence on the issue of rotation of power and zoning. One of the groups, led by one of its presidential aspirants and a former deputy speaker of the Abia State House of Assembly, Mr. Cosmos Ndukwe, moved to stop the presidential primaries of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) over the party's stand on the issue of zoning and rotation of power.
The kernel of their cases are that the PDP over the years had a tradition of power rotation and zoning, arguing that the only office the opposition party has to offer was the presidential candidate, which they argued should rotate between the north and the south. Well, to discuss this further, we have the Publicity Secretary of PDP in Ebonyi State, Chika Onwoba. Chika joins us again this morning, all the way from Anambra. Good morning to you, Chika, and thank you for being here on Breakfast Central. Now, your party, the PDP, has in the past few months been embroiled in so many internal crises. Now, these groups are making moves to stop the party primaries. What gave rise to this call made by the groups?
Hello, good morning, and thanks for having me once more. In as much as we from the Southeast agitate that the ticket goes or comes to the Southeast, that is not enough for any individual to drag the party to court. No single individual, nor a group, nor a zone is bigger than the party itself. So it is very discouraging to have an individual or a group drag the party to court, to achieve whatever purpose they are pursuing. The party is a very large umbrella, and it has to accommodate all of us. And while we pursue our personal group and zonal interests, we should understand that PDP is a very big umbrella that is not owned by a particular person or a particular zone. PDP is larger than any interest. So the reason behind the dragging of the party to court by the individuals that did so is what we are yet to understand, because the constitution of PDP, I don't think it actually captures zoning a ticket to a particular place, but in the interest of fair play, in the interest of carrying everybody along in the party, I think we from the Southeast are saying that the presidential ticket of PDP should be zoned to the Southeast. But just as I told you earlier, it is not enough reason for anybody to go to court, praying that court annuls the already scheduled national convention of the party. Okay. I think it is irresponsible of that group or a person that did so. So they did it out of interest that is not generally acceptable. So PDP should be distanced from that primordial interest, and it is condemnable. Our national convention should hold. It is now left for other zones to consider our plea that Southeast should be given the presidential ticket for the first time since 1999, because Southeast has always remained PDP. So, but just as I told you earlier, it is not enough for someone to go to court praying that court cancels the already scheduled primary election of the party. Okay. It's coming up on the 28th and 29th of this month.
Chika, thank you very much for clarifying that. But I would like you to also clarify some other reports. We're getting reports that your party, the PDP, has mandated General Ibrahim Babangida and Professor Ango Abdullahi to help it find a consensus candidate for the party. Is this true?
It is not true. It is not true, because I think that arrangement came on the heels of some individuals, some aspirants, coming together to say, oh, I think a consensus arrangement can be better for the party. I think that is a zonal something. It concerns the North as a zone. So it is not binding on PDP. There was no place that PDP gathered and said, either at the working committee level or at any organ at all, PDP never mandated anybody to go and zone on behalf of the party. So some aspirants came together from the North and said, okay, it is better for the North to have one or two consensus candidates or aspirants, whom the North should now present as their own aspirants, pending the consideration of other zones. PDP at no point mandated anybody, to go and align with any zone or any group to produce a consensus candidate. And as you know, or as you may have known, other presidential aspirants, even from the North there, are condemning that arrangement. That arrangement is self-serving. And I think it only exists and ends within the purview of that interest that organized it. So
Okay.
PDP never mandated anybody to go and, or any committee to go and do zoning arrangements for the party. So if such a thing should exist, it should be for Southeast. It should be for Southeast and not just for North or South. It should be narrowed down to the Southeast. The purview should capture Southeast as a zone that is yet to produce president in this country. So nobody, to clarify you or to answer your question directly, nobody in PDP or no PDP organ mandated anybody, neither from the East or from the North or from anywhere,
All right.
go and do zoning arrangements for the party.
Thank you so much,
Chika.
Chika.
To achieve personal interest.
Thank you so much, Chika Nwoba Chika, Publicity Secretary of PDP Ebonyi State. We truly appreciate your presence here on Breakfast Central.
Thank you for having me.